13 days after 41 workers to be precise, got trapped inside an under-construction tunnel in Uttarakhand Uttarkashi. They continue to remain there as rescuers scramble to reach them using big and sophisticated machines. It's really a battle against time. Well, rescuers now stand just meters away from those trapped, but there have been repeated breakdowns, hiccups and obstacles in the effort to drill evacuation pipes into the area where they are trapped. However, every time machines have broken down, monumental efforts have been made to get them up and running. In fact, now a top official overseeing the operations has said that rescue operations are likely to begin at 11:30 a.m. This is what we're being told is that there's some movement on the ground already to resume the drilling operation. The 41 workers who are trapped under a collapsed tunnel in Uttarakhand will be pulled out on wheeled stretchers. Well, Mohammed Ghazali has been on the ground since the operations began, and he's joining us live on the broadcast now. So Ghazali, of course, the drilling work, I assume, has now begun. What is expected today? Of course, the officials say that it's not fair to sort of impose these timelines, but what are you seeing on the ground?
What we can see on the ground right now is that heavy machinery since day one has been parked here, and I have been repeating this in my reports that we get conflicting statements about whether the drilling work has started, whether the welding of the pipes have been done, how much distance we have covered. But definitely we have what we are getting is that we have just the authorities or the rescue workers who are working have managed to drill around 46.8 meters of the rubble which is spread inside the tunnel. Now, the estimate area is around 60 meters or 57 meters, and nobody can ascertain the exact area because the area is ascertained as long as the pipe keeps approaching. Finally, when they manage to reach the laborers, then only we would know that how long the pipe was and what was the area occupied by the rubble. The major limitation of this auger machine has been that it stops working, and we have seen it numerous times now in the last 3-4 days that it stops working, then we have to wait for very long before it resumes the operation. The same thing happened last night, that we were expecting perhaps that the drilling was happening, but late night one of the officials confirmed that no drilling is happening because the auger machine has developed some technical snag. Now, early morning, we got to know that no drilling is happening. We are still waiting for it to be completely repaired. Again, one official has confirmed that perhaps drilling has started. That is exactly why we are not able to tell that what would be the deadline by when the operation will get over, but we know the processes and how long will it take. If let's say that we still have to go 10 meters, by rough estimate, if we have to go 10 to 12 meters is left to be drilled, then it takes around 7 to 8 hours. And then further 3 hours will be there in which you will have to pull those people out of that part of the rubble from on the safer side towards the face of this tunnel, opening face of the tunnel. Now that will take 3 hours. That's exactly what the rescue operation is. This is just the drilling operation. The rescue operation involves a 15-member NDRF team has been deployed here. What they will do that a stretcher fitted with wheels will be sent towards that side, and before the stretchers are sent, 1 or 2 NDRF personnel will go towards that side when the entire pipe will be fitted, and then he will do a preliminary health checkup of all those who are there, all the 41 laborers, and one by one he'll ask them to lie down on the stretcher, and the stretcher will be pulled from this side. Since it will have a wheels fitted in its base, they will be dragged towards this side, and one after the another, one checkup will happen on the other side once they are back on this side. And after that, immediately, once we get once the rescue operation or the team involved in the rescue operation get a green signal or a go ahead that they can be moved to the hospital, then all the ambulances will be lined up. They will be parked right outside the tunnel with no access to anyone. Everything will be barricaded. They will be immediately rushed to that 41-bed hospital in Chiniali-Sod, which is around half an hour at a distance of half an hour from here in Silkyara tunnel. So this is the exact operation. Besides this, many other hospitals and doctors have been on standby. They are getting updates about the progress of the rescue operation here, but we still think that it may take 6 to 8 hours is what many officials, and also more than the officials, the laborers who are working inside, when they come out for their lunch break or something, they also keep updating us that what is the progress, that how far they have reached towards the laborers, towards the construction workers location inside the tunnel who are trapped since November 12. And today is the 12th day of this entire rescue operation.
Ghazali, before you go, I mean, what really are the major obstacles now? Yesterday, of course, we saw that the machines hit that metal obstruction. But what could be potential roadblocks in the operation?
See, the government had initially said that they have 5 plans, and we had extensively discussed about those 5 plans, that how the government is trying to bring in heavy machinery to do horizontal drilling. This is also horizontal drilling, so we should not confuse it with the other horizontal drilling which I am referring to. Initially, the plan was that if you can see the opening of the tunnel in my background, from right of the tunnel and from left of the tunnel, the plan was also to do horizontal drilling, so that from both sides people can go and pull out those who are trapped inside the tunnel. That didn't work out, that was not executed. Then there was a plan to do the vertical drilling, for which there was a lot of discussion that heavy parts and machinery have to be brought in here, airlifted from other parts of the country. But even that was partially executed. A ramp was built so that heavy machinery or those trucks and lorries can go on top of the tunnel. But even that was not fully executed because we started making progress on this side, and this was the most feasible or the best bet for the rescue team, to go from this side horizontally right in front of the tunnel and reach directly or approach directly towards the construction workers location. The major obstacle is that you can't enter very big machineries inside the tunnel. Had you been allowed, or had it been feasible that you could get in with heavy machinery directly inside the tunnel, then perhaps that may not have taken a lot of time. But since the topography or the terrain is such that you can't do heavy drilling on a tunnel which is already under construction and which had certain patches which have collapsed initially. And we should also share it with our viewers that this is not the first time this has happened. We spoke to the relatives of those laborers who themselves have worked in other tunnels as well. They shared that not just on November 12, but even before November 12, when this tragic incident happened, there were complaints that some patches of the top of the tunnel have collapsed or rubble is falling, but it was not taken care of. So an under construction tunnel where 41 construction workers are already trapped, you can't go drilling from all sides. So that has been one major challenge. And later, when it was decided that auger machine will go in and that will start the drilling, then the authorities got to know, or the rescue team got to know, that even auger machines have its own limitations. It doesn't have a very high speed that it can clear the 10 meter or 20 meter in 1 day or 2 hours or 1 hour. It's like 1.5 meters in 1 hour. So even if by that estimate, if we have to go for if we have to clear 10 meters of rubble, it will easily go for 6 and 7 hours. And post that, once the pipe is fitted, it reaches towards the construction workers. Even after that, it will take 2 or 3 hours for their proper checkup. Because what happens in such operations, which is like one stage of the operation where perhaps you're almost there, but you don't want any hiccups, you don't want any further mishap. To avoid that, like these 41 construction workers have been trapped for the last 12 days. There could be adrenaline rush once they see that, okay, the pipe has come, now we need to move in. To avoid that, one NDRF personnel will go on that side to ensure that these welded pipes have sharp edges. Now, in a rush, not like everybody should get in at once. To avoid all that, one NDRF personnel will monitor, will supervise that who will go first, who is more healthier, who is more vulnerable. Based on that entire rescue operation will follow once that big diametered pipe has reached to the exact location where the workers are trapped. So these are certain challenges, but the major challenge remains with the speed of the auger machine, and God forbid if it hits another metallic object or something which it can't drill through, then as Mr. Ata Hasnain, the member of NDMA, last evening said, that the nation and the construction workers or the relatives and everyone should be mentally prepared that there is no deadline for this operation, and such operations never have deadline, and it can stretch to any time limit.
Right, because those very important details you're sharing, and how challenging this operation is, of course, because of the heavy machines that are being used. But also tell us, just for perspective, the area where these workers are trapped. What is this? How long and wide that area is? Whether there's constant supply of electricity and water. What are the challenges for those workers trapped? Of course, their mental and physical health in question now. But just give us some perspective on that area where these workers are trapped.
See, whenever a tunnel is constructed, it is constructed from both sides. So this opening is in Silkyara, in Uttarkashi district. The other opening is, because this tunnel is around 4.5 kilometers, so the other end is also in the same district in Uttarkashi, that's the Barkot area. Now what happens, many viewers may think that the workers are stuck in the middle of the tunnel just with rubble in front of them, so why can't they get out from the other side of the tunnel? So basically, if this is a long tunnel, you enter, and after 200 meters, the workers are, the rubble is there, and after 200 meters, if 260, 70 meters, whatever the area of the rubble is, then the workers are stuck. And if you approach further, before the next opening of the tunnel or the other opening of the tunnel, there is another construction block. So basically, the laborers are stuck between rubble and one construction block there. So they can't either move on the other side of the tunnel or the other end of the tunnel, nor they can move on this side of the tunnel. But whenever any tunnel is under construction, a water pipe is installed on day one to ensure that laborers don't have to move out every time to fetch water. Now that particular water pipe with a very small diameter was the first lifeline for these construction workers when the debris fell on November 12. That was the first lifeline, because through that particular pipe, communication was established. They were told that the rescue efforts are on. Now, after that, bigger diameter pipes were installed, one to send the dry food. Then another bigger diameter pipe was installed to send proper food, fresh food. And for the last 2-3 days since that, visuals emerged when the rescue workers managed to have a video chat with them. Everybody came in front of the camera with that endoscopic camera mounted on an endoscopic pipe when the camera was sent close to them. That is when the doctors we spoke to have started suggesting that the entire team of the entire trapped construction workers got some sort of morale booster, that perhaps the rescue team is right there. They will pull us out anytime soon. There are some health complications with those who are trapped there, because not everybody is mentally strong. So everything is being considered by the health experts here, by the rescue team, and perhaps once they are pulled out, they will be put under medical observation for at least 2 days.
Right. Ghazali, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. Very important perspective there being shared by Ghazali. In fact, the pictures we're putting on air right now are those of the stretchers that have been made specifically for this operation. Of course, this after contact is established with those trapped there, and they actually are big when the operation begins to actually pull them out. Earlier, there was all this news about them crawling out, but now it has been clarified that these stretchers will be used to pull them out. Now, these have been made particularly keeping in mind the length and width of the sort of micro tunnel through which they will be pulled out. So of course important there, an extremely challenging operation, heavy machines being used as well, and now the rescue operations will resume at 11:30. So Ghazali, these pictures that we're putting on air of that that customized stretcher that has been made as well. Of course, this has been made keeping in mind the length and width of that pipe or that tunnel through which those workers will be pulled out.
Oh yes, the initial plan by the NDRF was that either they'll ask the workers to crawl through the pipe and then come over to this side of the tunnel. But after consistent communication and the NDRF team and the health experts, General V.K. Singh and the Chief Minister, they have all been talking to the construction workers. Mr. V.K. Singh is here at the tunnel site right now. So then it was decided that perhaps not everybody would be in a state of mind even to crawl through that 70-meter area, because since they're trapped for the last 12 days, not everybody would have that mental strength to yet again do something more challenging. Everything would appear to be challenging to them since they are stuck there. So then it was decided that maybe crawling would lead to some other mishap or something, to avoid any last minute hiccups. This is when it was decided that they will send the stretcher fitted with wheels, because the construction workers will be asked just to lie down on the stretcher, and then it will be pulled out from this side, so that even while they are moving inside the tunnel, or not the pipe through which they have to come, even while moving inside that pipe, they don't make any movement, they don't make any body movement, they don't stretch anything, they simply lie down and safely they can be pulled out. This is the exact plan which will be executed once the entire drilling is done. And what we have been told, that since they have been trapped there for the last 12 days, they are being given so this is the exact plan of the NDRF team, and we'll update if there is any change, or if we get to know perhaps that how much distance is yet to be covered, because as of now only 46.8 meters have been drilled through the rubble inside the tunnel.
Ghazali, thanks very much for that ground report there, and do stay safe yourself. So, of course, that monumental rescue operation underway in Uttarkashi, if it goes through, it will be a miraculous rescue.